Hello guys and welcome back to the course. So in this course this time we will be creating an app which we will call Brain Timer. So what's the idea of the app? So we will be having an app who will ask mathematical questions like simple additions, multiplications or something like that, and we will create four options like buttons, and we have to select one of them, and we have a limited time for that. Like I will show you an idea, something like this. We have to create this app. Here we will be keep tracking of our time, like we will initially set it for 30 seconds, like in 30 seconds how many questions you can solve, and this text view will create your score, will keep track of your score. And here we will be adding some mathematical problems which you have to solve, like 14 plus 12. Here we have to, if you submit 26, then we will get correct shown in the text view here, and if you select any other option then it will show the wrong option and our score will decrease. Okay, so after the completion, as we can see that 0 second is here, so we will be showing a text view here, saying that you are done, and we will see a button called play again, so we can restart the game here. Okay, so we can create this fun gaming app with some brain usage. So we will name it as something like brain game. So let us just start by creating this app. We will first take an empty activity. As we always take empty activity, we have to add things by ourselves. So I will just give it the name brain brain game. I guess this will be appropriate, and we don't have to choose other options. They will be good by default. So our project is getting loading, and initially we want something like our app should contain, we should see a go button like to start, so that first I will start the game, and initially we have to set its visual part. So we can see, go to design part, and in this we have to set the visuals of our app. So firstly we will be creating a go button, a big go button at the mid of the screen. As soon as we click the go button, then these questions should appear. So it will be a user interactive way, it will be good for our app. So firstly we will be adding a go button, and in this video we will be creating visual sites, like only we will work on this visual part. We can also write 2-3 lines of code. So as that we click on go button, I will show you in this meantime this is loading. Like when we click on here, we will be adding a go button. Whenever we click on go button, then these options should appear. So it will be a user friendly manner to interact with the user. So this will take a bit time. Okay, so the build is finished. Now we can work on our visual side. Firstly I will remove this default hello world button. So we firstly, as I said, we need to add a big button at the center, which we will call go button. I will first set its constraint. So this time we will be working more on our constraints things, as we have to set the visual. So we have to be precise, like we have to set the correct locations and helpers and center. So we will use we will center it exactly. So firstly I will make it horizontal, and then I will set its constraint to be vertically independent, so that it will be exactly in the center. You can see this, and now we will be writing its text as we want go, so that we can start. So its text size is, I guess, is a bit small, so we will be changing its text size. Here we can change it through here. I guess 30 dp will be enough. No, it is small, we can go for 36. I guess let's check it for 50, or we can give it 60. I guess this works fine. Okay, this looks good. So also we have to add the padding styles here. Like padding is something we have to manage the space between inside of the button and the text which is inside our button. So we will be adding its padding size here. We can see that we have a lot of options here. I'll just go to P. Here it is, our padding option. We can select its padding all. Let's just give its value to 20 dp. Yes, I should give 30 dp rather. Yeah, this looks fine. So now we have to make changes to its background color. So I think we should give a colorful view to our button and other text views also. So we will be working on this part also. So let us grab some colors. So this will be our for our text, like what you want for our text. So I will go with this. And for the background, like for the button background, you can check its color from here. Like if you want blue or something, I guess light color will go. Okay, this seems fine. Or you can add orange color. This looks better. Okay, so I will go with this. So we have set the visual here, and the thing which I was telling, that initially I want to make it invisible as soon as user clicks on it. As we click on this, then the go button should disappear and the other function should appear, which I have shown you, like text view, score view, and other things. So firstly we will be creating the code for this. So firstly I will give it an id. I will give the name as go button. This works fine. Okay, and now we have to also to give its where we have on click method here. So by default we have this method. What does this method say? That on clicking what should happen? So we can game it, we can name it as start button. We can name it something like, we can name it something like start button. So whenever we code, we can use it here directly. So I will show you. Firstly we know that we have to implement our button. So we will write this code to implement this button, and we have to implement the library also. I will just press alt enter, then this library will get automatically imported. And now I will just declare it here button. We have to give the button which we have given the id. So I have given the go button as its id, so I will go with the same. And in onCreate method we have to declare its position. So we will use go button is equal to find view by id r dot id dot, and now we have to set its name as id as go button. Okay, so this works fine. Now we will work on this coding part of this. So we will be adding, so we will be adding a class here which will be public button, and we will add start here public static. So this will not be returning anything, so I will use it void. And we have to write the name which we have given, as we have given start for the on click. So we will be using the same, like we can see that we have given the start button as its name, so we will be using the same. I think we can mm, start here as here only start button. No, I think we have to implement from starting public void start button. And now we can set its inside to be view, as we need view here, view. And now we can enter our code here. So what do we want when we click on the start button? So we want that the button should get disappeared. So if the button is clicked, then it should disappear. So we will write go button dot set. We have a inbuilt method of set visibility, and we will use our view here, and we will use view dot, we can set is visible or invisible. So I will be using invisible here, so as we need to make it disappear. Okay, so I guess we are ready with this. Let's just give it a run. So the app is here. We can click on this go button, and we can see that on clicking the go button it gets disappeared. Okay, so now we want something to appear, like as I have shown, we want these things to appear. So that as go button is disappeared, we want our timer text view here, score text view here, and this mathematical sum text view here. And these are the four buttons. So we will be adding, so we have a lot of visuals to add. So we'll working on this part only here. So I will close this. I will just start with by adding these things. So firstly I will set its property to be invisible, so as I have to work with those parts. So as we know, we have to add a text view at the corner. So I will just drag our text view down here. It is lagging a bit. So we can see that we have added our text view here. So we will just work with constraints. We will set its first constraints. So initially I want the timer should start from 30 seconds. So I will default set its value to 30 seconds here. I think this looks fine, and we need to increase the size here. So you can work this. There are a lot of features here. You can work with any of them. I think 30 or 36 will be fine. I think this look good. We can change its padding style also. So by doing that, we can change that. Okay, so I will just go to padding size here. As we did for go button, we will be doing these same things for other text views and buttons also. So I will just find padding here. So here it is. So I will just give space. I will just give it 20 dp. I think this will work. Yeah, this looks good. I guess size is a bit small. I can change that. So firstly, also the main thing you should remember is we have to set its constraint first. Otherwise, on running that, these text will uh, get disappeared from your app visuals. So I will just set its constraint here, as this make sure that this stays in our app. Otherwise it will get disappeared. Okay, so you have added this, and now we want, I guess I should increase its size a little bit. I will use 36 dp. I guess this looks fine now. So I will just change the color here. So firstly I will be changing text color. This looks fine, and now I will change the background color. You can find the background color here or above. For the background we need to select our text view, so we can set its background color. To find that, this should be down somewhere. So there are many properties like text style. You can change other things also. So I want these things to be default, so I'm not changing all this. I will just change its background color. I think this should be here in the B. Here it is. So we can change its background, like what do you want its background. I want it to be light colored. No, that's fine. You can also select it from here, like I'll show you. As we want light color, so we will be selecting it from here. I think this looks fine. Okay, so let's just add another visual other visuals and textures first. So this time we want our sum text view here and the score text view at the corner. Okay, so I will just add here the score text view, and in between I will just add some. So I think I should decrease its size a bit so that these all should not get congested here. So I will just decrease the padding size a little bit. I think 10 will be enough here. Okay, so I will be adding other things as I want it to be in the left corner, so I will decrease its constraint size a bit from the left. Like instead of 37 I will be giving it 27. Let's check it's for 27. It will shift a little bit towards left, and we can increase it from here as 10. Okay, so now its size is a little bit, it is shifted a little bit towards left. So now we will be adding the sum text to here and other things here, so I will do it quickly. So we want here score text view, so I will just give this here we have to give the score. So initially you can give anything, like I will give 0 by 0 initially. So I will quickly add other things also. I will add the constraints. Also the down constraint. Okay, so now I will just increase the text size and the padding size. So I will just give the same as I have given for timer text view. I think I have given 30 or 36. I should find it here. Yes, this is working. We will go for padding size now. So in the padding I will give it 10 dp as I have given for the timer text view. So now we have to set the same constraints as we have for our timer text view. Okay, so we can see we have 34 here and 27 here. So we will be doing the same for this one. So we will just set the constraints. Here we want 27 as we want it towards right, and from the upper side we want the same as we have here. As we have here 34, so we will we will set the same constraint so that our virtual side looks symmetrical. So just write it here 34. I guess that's 54. It was 34, but I guess we have to first increase the size. We haven't increased the size here. So the text size for this was 36 sp, so we will set this to the same, and I guess other things are already same. Now we will just set its constraints. Now we want to set its color also, so I will just go to the text color here and I will choose any of them. Like if I select this, and for the background I want it from here. I will just go to the background and I will select the background color. Like I can choose between these. This looks good, I guess. You can give any of the color which you want. I think this looks good. Okay, so just I will add some padding space again. And we have given 10 dp, so I will just change this to 20 dp. This is a good 15 dp, I guess this would be enough. Yeah, we can see that these are almost the same. Okay, so I will just check its padding size here. So we have 10 dp here. You can set the constraint as you want. There is nothing fixed here. And I want it little bit more spaced from above, so I will just change this to 64. I think this looks good now. And now we want text view in the center for the sum view, like for the mathematical calculation we want it in the center. Okay, so I will just change its text, like first here I can write any of the sum, like I want for 17 plus something, like I will write 22. I will just write any of the random calculation so that it shows here. I'll just click on enter to make the changes, and now I will change the text size according to the requirement. I think we can increase it size yes, this is fine. And now we will set the constraints here. We will set the constraints. We can set its equally spaced from left and right. Like we can see that it is more towards the right, so I will drag it a bit more towards left. I think 19 would be enough to place it on center. Yes, it is fine. And I will just now increase its padding size and the colors. So padding style should be here. Here is the padding style, so we can give it 10 sp, I guess that will be fine. Okay, so I will just drag it just upwards here. I guess this looks fine, it looks in the center. I will just quickly assign the colors here, background and the text color. So for the background, I think this time we'll choose something different. I guess this looks good. And for the text color, I guess this works fine. If you want to change, you can change. This black will be fine. A little bit dark. Okay, so our visual side is almost ready. We just have to give the IDs. Like we haven't set any ID, like these are the default ones, but I want them to be according to me. You can give any of the name. So as this is for timer, I will give it timer text. I think this looks good. Timer text. I guess this is not changed. I will give it again. Uses of all text files as well. Okay, so we have to click on yes, as these will make changes in the coding part also. Like we can see that we have an XML, a little bit of XML code here. So the visual which we create, its XML code get automatically coded inside the code part. Okay, so I will just write down its ID. So as this is for this our calculation, and we mostly use sum here, so I will give its ID as sum text, and here I will give it as score text, as this will keep track of our score. I will give yes, and I think we are ready with this. And now we want something like we don't want go button here, as we on clicking go button should disappear. So we have written that in our coding part, but for this part, like we are creating the visuals for this part. So we want 4 buttons here, so we don't want go button in this part. So I will just select a property. We have a property at the bottom which is called visibility, so we can use this directly, and we will select invisible. So we can see that this gets invisible. We can see it is cleared from here. So we will be using it at the last of the video to make it appear from the beginning screen. Okay, so now here I want a new layout, so which we call as a grid layout. So I will just search here in the widgets, this one, grid layout. As it is not downloaded, I will just downloaded it and add its library. Ignore all these changes, and as it's get downloaded, we will add it here in this screen, and then we will virtually set the buttons like this. We will be dragging it here, and we will set 4 buttons like this. So we will just see how to add them. So now we have downloaded our grid layout here, so we will just drag it down to our visual part. So I will just drag it in the empty space now, and here we have to name its space. As we can see that we have something written here, Android GDX something, so we can remove it here in the coding part, as this creates an error. So we want our grid layout only, so we'll just remove that, and I think this should work fine now. So we will go back to our design part, and we can see it is clear. So now we can add our widgets here. So firstly I will completely fill it to the screen. I want it in a gap, something like that. Okay, so now I will just set its constraint, just add it. Default constraint will be fine, as it will automatically fill up the screen. We don't have to, I think we don't have to fill this one. Okay, so now we have to insert the buttons inside of that. Okay, so just go to button, drag some button, and instead of dragging it on the screen, we will drag it directly here on the grid layout, so that it's get inside of the button. Like we can see that this is our grid layout and it is already inside here. So now we have to set its visuals, like we will first add its text. So firstly I think I should fill it up entirely. I think this will be enough. Okay, I think this looks good. So now we will just set its ID and other things. So as we have to set the answers on our button, so I will just randomly type any answer. Like I will just give it 40 for the initial, and I think the text looks a bit small, so I will just increase the size. We will be doing the same things which we have done for others. So I will make it a big, I think 80 sp. It is taking bit time. Yes, 80 sp, I think this is in good enough. We will decrease this button size in the coding part. Okay, so just add it here, add some background color. Text color I think it is fine, black will be good enough. So we will just go to the background here, background, and I will just set its background, like I am happy with the blue color. Okay, this looks good. So now just we have to decrease its size and divide it into 4 parts. So for doing that, we have to do a lot of work with the visual. So we can do it easily by going to the coding part. Here we can see we have 3 things. We can split also, like this. We can go to only design part, and also we can write it in the coding part also. So I will show you what's happened. So I will be using the split part. So I will show what happens when we write the code. So I will increase the area here so that I can show you. And now we can see that we have default inserted code. As we add button in our visual side, we get this much of code already here. So we have changed the text size here, and also we have changed the other things. These are by default. Okay, so we have to add few things here. So I will just add it down here. So we will be using the same criteria which we default they have in our XML part. So we will use Android. We don't want this time column. We want something like, firstly we will let us set the column. we will set this equal to 0. And now we also want to set it for the row, so I will just copy. I think I can copy, yes. I will just copy it and paste it for the row. Okay, so we have set the column 0, row 0, and now we have to fill two things also here: column weight, row weight, and the other thing is gravity. I will just quickly write it down. So what does these things do? You can see it here. As I have splitted the screen, you can see what these things are doing. So I have set the column weight equal to 1, and now we have to set gravity. So gravity I will set it equal to we have three options: fill, horizontal, vertical, and normal fill. So I will fill it normally, so you will be able to see what this thing do. Okay, we have not seeing any changes here, as because we are doing this for the one button only. So when I will copy this code 4 times, as we want 4 buttons, so you will be seeing the changes. So now we have to do the same for row also, as we want row weight here. So I will just go down to row weight, and we want this value to 1. Okay, so now we have added column weight, gravity, row, and row weight, and I think we are ready with this. Also we have to set the on click method for this, so we can do this here only, and also we can do this in the design part. So choose wherever you want to write. So I think we have on click method here. Clickable is true, as this is a button, so we will just go to on click. It's after n, I guess. Here it is. We can write it the method here, as we have did for go button, so you know what to write. So we will just give it as choose answer. So this will be the function, like this is the function that will occur when we click this button, answer button. Okay, so go back to the split code. We can see that on click function will automatically get inserted in our code, like this we can see. And now we have to select this button, like we have did for this, we have to did for others. So I will be creating a new thing which we call as tag. We have inbuilt here Android layout. I think this should be here. Firstly I will write tag here, yes, this one, and we will name it as like firstly for 0, then 1, 2, 3. We want to insert 4 buttons, we will be using the same. Okay, so we have added text also, we have tag here, we have text size here. I think we are done with all these constraints. I think I have removed this one. Okay, so now we have this things ready for our one button. So I want 4 buttons, so I will just we don't have to do these things again. We just have to copy this code and now just paste it here, as we have to insert 4 buttons, so we will be doing this 3 times more, 3 times. So total, in total now I will add it here again. So I think I have added this, and now we have 4. We will see 4 buttons soon. We have 4 buttons, but they are overlapped. Okay, so I will just firstly I will just change this buttons ID, as we know that we have to give them the ID. So I think this was the first one. Yes, I have added the 4. First one is, I haven't added the ID for the first one, so I will just give it name, give its name as button 0, as this will match with our tag. So 0, and here button 1. So here I will give it as button 1, its ID is button 1, and also I will go down. Also I will give its tag here as 1. Okay, so now we have added this for the previous button. We will be doing the same for this, like we will change its column, as this was the 0th column. We have set this for 0th column, we will set it for here for 1. So now after changing this, you will be able to see the changes. Okay, So the column is 1, and now we want column weight equal to 1. This is already there. And now we want row to be 0. Row is 0, column weight is 1, and gravity is fill. All the things are done, I guess. So we will see these changes. We should see the, as choose answers we have to, don't we don't have to worry about that. We will see that in our coding part. And this time I will give it button. I think this was the second button, so I will give the tag as 2, and this time I want row to be 1, so I will just give row to be 1. So we have added the button in our grid layout. So now we want to fill it to the screen, and we want 4 buttons here in our grid layout. Okay, so we will go to this coding part. We can see that we have 3 options: code, split, and design. We have in coding part, we have XML files, and for the split we can see them both. Okay, so I will use this as, because I will show you writing the code here what will be the changes in the our visual. Okay, so we have an option, like we can add either we can add our code and then we can see the changes, or we can directly see in the visual. But I will teach you also how to make the changes in our visual by using our XML code. Okay, so in this we have to make the changes, like firstly I have to add some things. I will show you. We will be using these default codes, like we have Android layout, and firstly we want to add the column. Okay, so we will add the column and we will set it as 0, as we want it in the first column should be 0 for this button. We want firstly to fill it entirely in our grid layout. Okay, so we will be writing the code for that. And now we want column weight. So what does this do? It will automatically can be seen here like this. It grabs the width of the screen. Okay, so column weight is 1, and now we have to enter the gravity. Like we have a feature called gravity here, and in this we have many options. So I will be using the fill one. I will show you what does this thing do. Like this, we can see it fills up the entire grid layout. Okay, so by using this we can fill the screen. And now we want we also want to set the same for rows, so I will do it quickly. So we will be setting rows at 0. Row weight, we also want that to be I guess that was 1, sorry. As we have set it column weight 1, we want row weight to be 1. Okay, so now we have selected this. Also we want on click method here, so we can do here also, or we can do that in our design part also. As we can see on selecting the button, we have that on our on click method. We can find that on click here after, and here it is. So we can give that and name. Can give that name like we have the same we have did for go button, we will be doing the same for this. Okay, as the buttons have their clickable ID, so what does they should do on clicking this? So for writing the code we have to write this. Okay, so now we will see that after writing this, the choose answer will automatically be there, like we can see this is here. Okay, so now we have added all things. We just want to add one thing, which will be tag, as because I want to name them separately. Like we want to add 4 buttons, so for not any confusion I will be using tag. Okay, so we have Android tag option here. I think we should use the default one, Android tag. Don't know why it is not coming. Let us just try it again. Here it is. So we will be writing the tag equal to 0, as the we will start it from 0, then we will be going to 0 1 2 3. Okay, so also we have to give the ID, as we did for others. We have also did for text views, and so we will give that name as button 0. Okay, so this will be our button 0. So now we want 4 buttons. Okay, so the code for the one is here. I will just copy it and will paste it 3 times so that we can get our 4 buttons. Okay, so I have added the four buttons, so I will just go to the above. So this was our first one. So now I will just make the changes, so that now concentrate here. We will make changes in the code, and you will see that the buttons will get automatically split it up and will make four buttons altogether. Okay, so I will change here the values. The row should be 0, row weight should be 1, and column should be 1, as because we want it to be side by side, like vertically, like this. We can see we have two buttons here. And now to split in the four, we will be changing others also, like rows and other things. So I think other things are same. I should change the tag, as this is our second button, as we have started from 0. So we will give 0, 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so choose answer, this will remain same, as this is the clickable method. We will see that afterwards. So firstly set them all up. So now this time I think we will be changing our row weight. We can see, I think I have to show you. uh, if I change the column, let me show you what does what happens here. I think this is here. Okay, so on changing this, it gets split it into three parts. So we don't want that. We want that next button to be downwards here, like half part. Okay, so we will be changing row here this time. So I will be selecting row equal to 1, like this. We can see we have three buttons here. So now we will quickly give that an ID. So this should be 2, the tag should be also be 2, and now we are just left with our fourth button. So we'll give them ID as 3, the tag should be 3, and other things. I think we want to make changes. This is done. We just have to make the changes in, I guess, let's just make it for the column. Let's check it whether the fourth button appears in the remaining side or not. No, it is not coming, so we don't have to change that. We will see how can we do that. I think by making both of them to be one, we can get our part like this. Okay, so we have successfully implemented these four buttons. Okay, so now I will quickly name them, like I will quickly write the text here. So I think this can we can do in the visual part better. So I will just change the text quickly and change the color. Let's just complete our visual part fastly. So I will just give it 40, as this will contains the answer. So we have to put the one right answer and other wrong answers. So I will just give it randomly. We want text size to be bigger, so let us just give that 80 sp. I think this will be better. Yeah, this will be work fine. And for this we have to write the text, like text size should be 80 sp, and text, this something happened, I will undo it. I guess I have to make the changes there only. I will add that here in the coding part. As we have set it all here, you can see that we will be having our text here. Here it is. This is our text. So we will be making the changes here only. So I will just copy this. Gets copied. I have copied this, and below the tag I will show you how this works. As I have selected the text for the 40, I think I should give it 30. Oh, I guess I have to remove this one. Now I think it should work fine. Yes, this is working fine. Now we will change the size here. You can see that text size is 80 sp, so I will just copy that alone. Okay, just copy it around here, and we can see, can add it here. It should increase. Yes, it is increased. So just copy and quickly add it for the others. Just go to here, paste it around here, just move it. I will give the text as, I think this time I should put the right answer here. I think this is fine. And for the fourth one, I think here. So this time we will be putting correct answer, as one of them needs to be correct. Remove this button tag. Okay, so I'll just write 39 here, as 17 plus 22 equals 39. And I think this looks good. Let's go back to our visual side and just quickly give it its background color. Okay, so just go to background and B, here it is. Just quickly give the background colors of all. I think for this blue is okay. For the second button, the background color should be I think this is fine. Okay, so for this, try this. Let us try this. This looks fine. And for the 39, we will be setting the color to, I think we haven't used red here. Okay, so this looks good. Our visual sides looks colorful. So we will just select our grid layout and we'll decrease its size. So why we are decreasing is as we want our text view to be shown. So now we have added our timer text view and some text view and the score text view. Okay, so now we are just left with the another text view that we will be inserting below the grid layout, below our buttons, as because we have to show whether our answer is correct or not. So we will be inserting a new text view here. So we have to just show here correct or incorrect. So we will just be writing, like for initial I will write that it's correct, so I will just write it's correct. And now we have to set its constraints and other things, so I will just quickly do that. So for adding the constraints, I will add constraints from here only, like I can also do that from here. I have to make it horizontally in parent, and for the above I will just drag it from here. Okay, and for the text we can add that from here. We have given that correct, and for the text size we have to go here, and I think 36 sp, it is a bit small. Let's give 50 sp. Yeah, I think that's look good. So we can give text color also, but I think this will be okay as it will all be colorful then. Now we will just give it an ID, and then we will be done with our visual parts. So I will just say it as result text, as we have to show the result here whether it's correct or wrong. So now we will quickly go to the coding part. As we are done with this, let's just give it a run so that we can see whether all these things are visually appearing on our emulator or not. Okay, Till then we will see. So the emulator has started. We will see that here. I guess this is the previous screen. Till then, let's begin with our coding part. So we can see we have added the go button here. Now we want we can see here we have to add some text view. Like for adding numbers, we have to create two different numbers which should be random, as because those random number should gets add and show in our some text view. Like I will show you. Our emulator is ready, I guess. Like this we can see here we want to show any two random numbers. Like this have I have entered, but now for the next time I want different numbers. Like I will select an option, then there should be different numbers. So for that we have to use random numbers. Like we have a random class in Java which we have seen before. So now we will just implement that directly. So how to implement that? For that I will just create two integers separately, and then we will implement that. Like I will show here. So we will just add random class first. So we have to import the library here. So the library is imported. So now we just have to create that object of the class, and now we have to initialize two numbers. Like we have to initialize, we let's say we will firstly take a, and we have the method called random method called random dot next int we have, which will be generating an random integer number, and we can give its range in bracket. Like it says its bound value or boundary value. So if we want let's say 40 integers, then we will be writing 41 here, as because the number starts from 0. So from 0 to 40 they will be 0 to 41 they will be 40 numbers. Like okay. So similarly we will implement b as random integer, and inside we also want its value from let's I think this will be big enough. Let's keep it 21, so that the numbers will be from 0 to 20. So 21 numbers will be from 0 to 20, and here also we will want we want random numbers between 0 and 20. So let's just give it value 21, and now we want our some text view to show this. Like I will show, we want in this some text to show the numbers like this, first number and then a plus sign and then the second number, and we have given that id some text. So firstly we have to use that some text here. So I will just firstly we have to use that here. Text view, and then we will write some text, and now here we can use that some text, and some text we will set the text here. We have a method called set text, and inside of that we will pass our two integers a and b, but we want that in the form of string, as it we can see here we can enter string only. So to convert integer to string, we have a we can do it in Java that by string dot to integer. We can see we'll be having a method here. I guess that will be integer dot toString, because we want this to convert it from integer to string. Yes, we will be having, and now in that we have to pass the integer. So let's say I have passed a here, and then we want a plus sign in between. So for that, this plus is for concatenating of two strings, and another plus, this will be for I have to give the space, and this will be for adding, like this will be for showing plus sign, and the before one is for concatenating. So now we will use again plus for concatenation, and then we will use integer dot to string for b. Okay, so this looks fine. So this will create our some text view, and now we want to insert, we want four answers, like we have to generate four answers. Out of them, one should be correct and other three should be incorrect. So creating four answers, we can do this by using array or array list. So I prefer array list, so I will create a new array list, and I will create an array list of integer, and I will name it as answers. And now we will use new keyword here, array list, and we'll just pass our data type here. And now we will use that array list here, and now we want so we want we want correct answer at any of the position. Like we don't want that every time the correct answer appears here or here, any fixed position. We want that differently, like first time here, then second time it may be here or here. So for generating the random, we have already used that random class here, like this. So we will generate a random number, and I will just give a location, like int location for correct answer. Like I will give see a location for correct answer is this, and this will I will generate it an random number from 1 to from we want four positions, so we will be using for the four, like this will create a random number between if we want four random numbers, then we have to write four, like it will generate random number like 0 1 2 3, any of the position, and we will use that in for our showing to the buttons. Okay, we will see that later. Before that, now we want to set the location, like we have got our location for the correct answer. Now we will use for loop, because we have four different locations. So to set them in our array list, we will be using this, and we'll set it normally, like as we use. And we have limit for 4, and I should increase. And then inside of that, now we will see if the location we can have four locations, 0 1 2 3, and if that location is of location of correct answer, then we have to insert that first in our array list. Okay, so we will be using if loop here. So if the location, like we will say if I is equal to, I will just write here, if I is equal to the location of correct answer, then it should get added to the array list to the as a correct answer. Like we will be directly adding our answers. So we have method in array list dot add, so we will add it directly, and we will pass the correct answer inside of that. Okay, because we have got our location of correct answer, so we just have to pass a plus b here. We don't have to think much about that. I will just pass the correct answer. Okay, and for the wrong answers, we first have to get the location, like where we have to get. So we will create else here, and in the else part, we will see for entering wrong answer. So we have to generate three different positions again. So here we can stuck with a scenario, like let's say I have entered wrong answers in the same position. Like we can see, our random number can be between 0 to 20. Let's say if this situation occur where the number we have added becomes the location same condition where we have our correct answer. Like I will show you with an example. Like let's say we have generated wrong answers. Like I will use here, like I will be directly adding answers dot add, and inside of that if I pass the random location, like I will pass random dot next int, and let's say I will pass any of the sum. Here I will enter 41 directly because we want to enter the wrong sum. So let's say I will show you an example. Let's say the our random class, this have generated a random number for the a. It can generate from 0 to 20. So let's say this have generated 7. Okay, so it's just a random number, as I said. So it will generate a random number from 0 to 20, and b also will generate a random number. It can be same as a or b. So we will see different cases. Like let's say it has generated a number 15. Okay, so now in the sum text, like here we will see integer to two strings. Okay, so 7 will be converted to string, and we will be having plus sign in between, and then for the b we will get 15 here. Okay, so we will be seeing this on our result, like we will be seeing this on our text view, some text view, and we have created space near around plus, so we will see like this. Okay, and for now let's say location of ca, location of correct answer, we have generated it bound for, like it can be 0 1 2 or 3, four numbers. So let's say if it has generated 2. Okay, so now let's come to the for loop. So for the first time the value 5 will be 0, and if I is equals to location of correct answers, so we can see that this is not the case. Okay, so location of correct answer is 2, so we will go to the else part. Okay, so now this time uh, our answers, like our array list will add a random number to its array list, like from 0 to 40. Okay, so from why I have written 41 here, so it will be generating any number from 0 to 40, and we have our two numbers from 0 to 20. So let's say this can maximum be 20, and this can also maximum be 20. So if that is the case, then the maximum answer possible would be 40. So that's why I have written here 0 to 40 numbers, which can be anything. Okay, so now else addition will be like anything, like else addition will be any number between 0 to 40. Let's say it have written 34. Okay, so now there can be a case, let's say this bound case, that can be a lucky case, that for generating random number. Let's say if it has generated the number 22, so that will be our case of correct answer. Okay, so we can in that case we will be having four options with maybe two or three correct answers. Okay, so to avoid that case, we will write a condition here. Like I will just remove it from here. I will remove it from here, and I will write another variable here, which I will call wrong answer. That will be wrong answer position, wrong answer location, and that I will be generating with the help of random number that we have written. Okay, and we will check with the if loop here, like or we can use while loop. We can use while loop here, that this loop should run till when wrong answer is equal to the our a plus b. As if our wrong answer is equal to a plus b, then we will ask that loop to again generate a random number, because that cannot be our case where we are having two options correct. Okay, so now we will again set our wrong answer to another random number. So I will use this again. Okay, so let's say this have generated the same as a plus b, so we will check if this is equal to this, then we will again generate a random number, and if that is not different, then generate another number, and whenever that's become different to our correct answer, then it will be adding this to our array list. So I will just write a condition here. After coming out of the while loop, then it should get added to our array list. So I will just add on sys.add, and inside of that I will pass no answer. Okay, so I think this is fine for our some text and other things. So now we just have to put these values, like array list values, in the button to show, like button text to show all these things. So before that we have to initialize that here. So I will just insert the buttons here, and I have given the names as button 0, 1, 2, 3. So I will implement by naming the same. Okay, so I'll just copy it and paste it 3 times more, and I will just give them the ID. So now we have to initialize that also in our own create method by doing this here. So we'll just use button 0 is equal to find view by ID r dot id dot our button 0. Okay, so we have to do the same. So I will just copy it again and will paste it here 3 times again. So we will just give their IDs here, and now we want these to this. Okay, so now we want to set the text, like we want to change the text of buttons to show the our correct answers. So one correct and other 3 are incorrect answers. Okay, so we can do that after this for loop, as we want to set the text. So we will just use button 0 dot set text. We have a method, and inside of that we have to pass a string. Okay, so but these are the integers, as we know their answers. So we have to convert integer to string, and we know how to convert that by using integer to string. And inside of that we have to pass the correct answer or incorrect answers from the array list. So to get answers from array list, we have a method called answers dot get, and inside of that we have to pass the integer. Like for the first one I will pass 0, and for the others we will change accordingly. So I will just paste it here, and I will just write 0, 1, 2, 3 as our array list contains of size 4. Okay, so I think we are ready with this now. Let's give it a run. So when our emulator will come, till then we will implement our other text views, as we have implemented other text views like some text view and result text also. So we will first initialize them, and then we will use them to show in our result. Okay, so we can see we have given the ID, timer text, score, and some text. Okay, so we will use that here. I think our emulator is ready. Let's check. Like we can see that here, I guess we haven't cleared that. That's why this has occurred. So I will just clear it first. I haven't written the name here, I guess. So I have seen what was wrong. I have just written 0 here for the all fours, as I have not changed their IDs. So on changing these to 1, 2, 3, the app is working. So let's just give it a run now. So now the next thing in this we want is to add our own click method for our button, so that we can select any answer. Okay, so let us just check whether it is working or not. Like we can see that on adding this we are getting a correct answer at this position, and the app is also running, so we can see for the other also whether it's working for the second time or not. So now we can see that we are getting the correct options, like we are getting 20 plus 20 equals 40. This incorrect option, this has appeared just once. We can change it as this is incorrect. We can rerun that to check whether it doesn't happen again. Yes, we can see now 16 plus 13, so now it's equal to 29. We are getting a correct option here. Okay, so the position is also changing, so I guess this is working fine. So now we will just check. So now we will run for the others, like now we want an on click method for our button. Okay, for we have given the id, let us just check what we have given for our on click method. Like we can check, we have given that choose answers, so we will just create a method here, we will create a new class here in our, we will create it here. Just we have created for start button, just like that we will create for let me spell that. So we want a void method for our choose answer button, so we will use choose answer, and inside of that we will pass the view, and in that we have to write the code now. So for writing the code, we have to choose, we will use if loop. So there can be two conditions for the correct answer and for the incorrect. So if the answer is correct, so we will first write that condition, that we know that we have to convert that to string. So if integer to string, and inside of that we have to pass location of correct answer. What's not coming? Location of correct answers, it should come now. Oh, okay, we have, I think we have declared that down here, so we will just declare it above once. We'll just cut it from here, and I will declare it above. Oh, there can be fault here also. So in spite of that, we can create that method. I guess we can change this location also. Let us just cut it here. Let's try to write it here. Okay, so we can write it. First we'll cut it from here. Okay, we can, I think we can create here, we can just declare location of correct answer here, like we can declare it here and we will initialize it downward. I think that would work fine, as because we have declared that in above, and we have created this in onCreate method. So I think this should work fine now. So we will just rewrite our code here and we will use that here. I think this will solve our issue. Like we can see, we are getting location of correct answer here, and we want if that equals, like we have to check whether it is equal to the our we have a option here called view dot get tag. I think we can, yes, we can get it from here. If view dot get tag, and also we need to convert it to string. So this says that the option which we have selected, like view is our app view, get tag, we have set the tag like 0 1 2 3. We have done that in initializing in our XML code. And now if this equal to the correct answer, then we need to show, and I think I have missed a bracket here. Okay, so if that is the correct answer case, so we need to show our result text view to show that answer is correct. Like we can see that here we need to show in this that our answer is correct, and we can see that we have given that the name result text. So firstly we have to initialize that like for the others. So I will just quickly initialize it and give it the name result text, and also we have to declare it down here. So I will just use result text is equal to find view by id dot id dot, and we will use result text here. Okay, so now we can use that anywhere. So I want to set the text of result, so I will just use result text, and inside of that I have to show the correct, like it should show correct, which we have defined initially also. And we can give a smile mark here to show that it's correct. Okay, so if this is not the case, so we will create an else loop here. So that will be the case where our answer is not correct. So then our result view, text view should show that the answer is wrong. So we will just use wrong with the sad emoji. Okay, that's the angry emoji. Okay, so we'll use sad emoji. And now we want to initialize other things. Like we will see, we have done our task for some text view, we have done our task for buttons. So now we want the score and timer to timer should decrease, and our score should get updated as soon as we select any answer. So for score to move on, so we will be initializing score. So we initialize it to 0. Also we want the number of questions, like for score we need to show like 0 out of 1. So we have answered one correct, incorrect, one answer incorrect out of one question. Okay, so for that we need I think number of questions. So I will just give it a name and number of questions, and initially I will give it to 0. Okay, so also we need to initialize our this score text, like we have given the name score text, so we have to initialize that also like we have did for other text views. So I will just write it here. Okay, and also we have to do that here. So I will just write it score text. This should be equal to find view by id dot id dot our sum text. Okay, so now we can use this sum text. So in this if the answer is correct, then only score should get increased. Okay, so we will write that in our loop score plus plus. So this will increase our score by 1 if our answer is correct, then the score will get increased by 1. Okay, if our answer is not correct, we don't have to do anything, we just have to put the answer wrong, and this should not update the score. Okay, so we will not write anything here. So after coming out of this if loop, like we will came out before coming of our if loop, sorry, we want our questions to be updated as it can be correct or incorrect, but the number of questions should increase. Okay, so we will just write number of questions plus plus, as they should get increased every time we choose any answer. Okay, also we want our score text view to get updated every single time we select any button. Okay, so we will just select score text view dot set text, and inside of that, as we know, we have to pass string, so we need to convert integer, we need to use integer dot to string to convert any integer to string, and inside of that we need to use score. Okay, so I will first tell you that we need to show in this manner, like score then a slash sign and then number of questions. Okay, so we will use score, then we want plus sign to concatenate, and then we will be using a slash symbol by giving the space. I think we should not give that. Okay, so we want a slash sign and for concatenation, and now we want to show the number of questions. So before that, as we know, we need to convert it from integer to string. So we will do that, and inside of that we will pass number of questions. Okay, so I think this code is enough. Let us just quickly run it and check whether the things are getting updated or not. So we are not left much with the things. We just want our timer text view to decrease, and also we want to connect these to the go button. So we will soon be completing this app. So let us just check. Now 2 plus 15, this is equal to 17. So I will just click on 17. We can see that I think I have selected. Oh, okay. I think I have updated the score text view. I wanted to update the other one. Okay. So I will just quickly change that. I will show that I have here I have used score text to show. I have given the name, I think, incorrect. Our sum text view should show here. This is showing here, I guess. Oh, okay. I have found the error that I have used some text here. I have to use core text here. Okay. So this was the fault. Now let's just give it a run. I think this should work now. Here is our imitator. So now we can see 0 plus 1, we will select 1. Now it is showing correct and the answer is getting updated. So we haven't updated our questions yet, but let us just check if I select the wrong answers. Like if I'm selecting the other answers, the questions are increasing, but the score remains same as I have only entered one correct answer, and this is also showing wrong. Okay, so we are not left much with the things. So now we need to update the new question every time, as whenever we select an answer, whether it's wrong or right, then we need to update a new question. Like there should be a new question. So in order to do that, we need to create a new class here. We'll create that before our on create method. So we will create a void that will does not return anything. So we'll use that, and we will create new question every time. So we will give that the name this, and we don't have to pass any argument inside of that. And inside of that, we have to write the code we've used before, all that code to generate a new question. Like all these things we have used to generate a question. Okay, so we don't have to write that again and again. So we'll use that in our class here. Okay, so I will just paste it down here. We are getting these errors as because we have declared our buttons down here, and we are using our code above. Okay, so we can just remove that quickly. We can just declare that above where we have used our code. Okay, we can. So I will advise to initialize everything in our starting of the main activity, so that will be easy, and also we can use it in our on create or before the on create. Okay, so just paste that code again and just change its id. Okay, so now I think all the errors will be removed. Okay, this looks fine now. And now I just want to add a thing here, that whenever we create this, like whenever we are creating a new question, then our array list, like we have created our array list for our answers here. So every time we get 4 new answers, like whether three of them are incorrect and one is correct, but they will get add upon. Like we are getting 4 answers for one question, then we will getting 8, and then the array list size will keep on increasing, and that will create a mess. Okay, so whenever we are entering this loop for adding the answers to our array list, we should aware that we need to clear the previous answers. Okay, so I will just clear them all, clear our array list, so that whenever we enter to add another 4 answers, so the previous one should get cleared. Okay, so the size will remain constantly 4. Oh, okay, before running, I have to use I haven't used new question class anywhere. I've just created it. So firstly, I will use it here as because I have cut the code from here. I will just use here, and also we want to use it another at another place, like we want it here as because whenever we select an when user select an answer, whether it is correct or wrong, then we are updating the question, we are updating our score text view. So also we want new question to update at that time, so we will just call that method here. Okay, so I will just rerun the app. So now after that we will just focus on our timer app to show the time. It's decreasing. The app is getting closed here. I think there is some error. I will just check it in the locate. If you are getting any error, you can check it in the locate. Like it will show where we are getting our error. So this is showing we are getting a null pointer exception at 61 and 82 code in our main activity. So we will just go to 61 and 81. 61 is this. Oh, okay, I think this is the error because we have initialized it here. Okay, let's just find where is the another error. It is showing at 81. So now let's just give it a run to check whether the questions are changing or not. So after this we are just left with our countdown timer. We just have to change the timer so that it starts decreasing the time, and we will be finishing the things off soon. Here comes our emulator. So here comes our app. So now this time we will be seeing that we are having different questions. So 6 plus 7, this is 13, so I will select 13. We can see we have got 1 out of 1. Then for 21 I will not select 21, I will select an incorrect option. So this is showing wrong. Also the questions are changing and the score is getting updated. Okay, so I will give more examples, like I will select 23. Now I will select a wrong one, another wrong, this one. Okay, so now we can see that our scoreboard is updating, some text is also updating, and also these are also working fine. So the last task we need to do is for our timer. Okay, so how can we do that? We first have to look for that. We have a countdown timer, like we can see we have a countdown timer. But this thing too, by writing the code we can decrease the time, like uh, we will see here, like we will use this new countdown timer, and inside of that we have to pass two things. The first one is where to start, like this is in milliseconds, so this is 30 seconds, so this is 30-second countdown, and this shows that how much gap do you want. So this is 1 second, as this is 1000 milliseconds, so it shows 1 second. So after it will decrease 1 second, like from 30, 29, 28, and up to so on. Okay, so this is an on these two methods are provided by default. So these are on tick and on finish. So in on tick we can set what should where should we need to show that countdown timer, like on tick, like 29, 28, then where should it get updated. Okay, so we can set in our text field, and also we can as this is in long, so first of all we have to convert that from long to strings, as this requires only string. Okay, so let's just begin with our coding part here. So to introduce that, we have to create that in our own create method below this. So we will just write here new, we want countdown timer, so we will just write that count, I think this should be here. Okay, here is it, countdown timer, and inside of that we have to pass two things. First of all, it could be we have to pass the time, so we will not pass 30,000 exact 30,000, as because it needs a little bit of space to start sticking. So I will just pass 30,100, so this is 30 seconds, 30.1 seconds. Okay, so and the second thing we want to pass is want interval, so I want it is an interval of 1 second, so I will pass 1000 milliseconds. And now we have to pass inside of that, we need to implement here on tick and other methods. So for that I will just type on tick here, this we want. So for that these method are already inserted, I guess. I think we have to insert on finish here alongside on finish, yes. Okay, so these are the two methods which are inserted. Also we have to write here dot start, so that countdown should start. Okay, that's why it is showing error. Okay, and now we will write the code inside of that, as we want to show it in our timer text. We will see we have given the name timer text, this one. So we will just write here timer, I think we have, okay, we haven't declared yet our timer text, so we will first initialize it. We will go to the top and we will initialize our timer text, and we know that we have to do that in our own create method also. So we will quickly do that first, like you can do that here somewhere. Okay, so timer text is equal to find view by id r dot id dot timer text. Okay, so this is now declared, we can use this in our code now. Let us execute that. So we will use here timer text dot set text, and we want to show here the ticking, like how much interval it is showing. So but this is in long and this requires a string value. Okay, so to convert long to string we have a method called string dot value. Here we cannot use integer dot to string because that convert integer to string. Now we want long to string. Okay, so we will use string dot value of, and inside of that we can pass the long value. So inside of that we will pass L, as we have to see what is the name here. It is milliseconds, millis until finish. So we have to copy the same, as because we want this only. So I will just write this, and we have to divide that by 1000, as because this is in millisecond and we want to show in our text view in seconds. Okay, so this will convert this into seconds. And for the second we have to we will concatenate this by s, because we want also we want to show like 30 seconds 30 s, or we can say scc, but whichever do you want. Okay, so I will write this. And for on finish, like whenever it should get finished, what should it show? So I want result text, as because we will see here after the completion of this game, like 30 seconds 29 and then complete it to 0, we need to show here in the result text that you are done. Okay, so we will set the text in our result text view, that result text dot set text, and inside of that we have to show done, we have to write done. Okay, so I will quickly do that. Let us put an exclamation sign here. Okay, so now I think we are done with this. Let's just give it a run to check whether this is implemented or not. here comes our app. Okay, so now we can see that the timer is decreasing. We can see 18, 17, 16. Let's just play till then. 15, let's press 18, 36, 13, 27, 16, 7, and this will be 13, 34, 9. So it is showing it is done. I guess this has shown done. We will rerun that to check whether it is showing finished or not. So we have successfully implemented that. Here we are just finished, we are almost finished. We have to just cope up with some task that we have to show that go button in the starting, and then we will click on go button, then all these things should appear and the game should start. Okay, so we will now write the code for that. So now we are almost done with this app. We just now have to figure the things out. So also we want to add a new button here, as because whenever our game will be finished, we want to add again a button which will say play again, so that we can restart the game. Okay, so I will just insert a new button here. In this I have already inserted that. Just give me a second. Like this I have inserted the button in our constraint layout, and I will just quickly uh, change its attributes and all the things. So I will give the text here as play again. This should say play again, and now we want to change its other options, like I will change its ID to play again. Okay, and also we want to change its on click, like we will on clicking this the all the setup should be restarted. So I will we have to use that on click, and I will just give the name as play again only. Okay, so let's just quickly move to our coding part. So we want here play again button. So play again button, I think we should insert, we can insert it at the top. So we will firstly implement that like we have did for others. So I will just implement button play again, and in on create we have to declare that. So we will just use play again is equal to find view by id or dot id dot, and here we have to pass our play again button. So done with this. Now we can use this play again button anywhere. Also we have to implement that method. So we will just create a new method here. I think I should create it in the top here, like we can create it here. After this we can create it anywhere above on create method. So we will create public void, and we have to use the name play again, and we have to pass inside view, and inside of that we have we will write our code. So okay, we on clicking on the play again button, like whenever we click on play again, then these all things should be resetted, like the score should show 0 by 0, the sum text will this we don't have to think no, and the timer text should be returned to its 30 seconds path, and all these things should be returned. This should show its value. And one first of all, the thing I want to say is this play again button should initially be invisible, as because this should not be shown in our game. This should be shown only whenever our game gets over. Okay, so I will change its visibility initially to invisible. We can do it through here, so we can see it's get invisible here. So first of all, inside of that we have to initialize the score again to 0, as we will reset all the things. And also we want number of questions to get 0, and another thing we want is we want our timer text to show, like initially it was showing 30 seconds, so we have to set the text again to show 30 seconds. Okay, so now it will show 30 seconds. Also we want our score text view to show again that value, like whichever I think we have selected here this one. So I will just copy that and will paste here. So we can also write 0 by 0, but as we have written already, so I will just paste it here. So now we can see score is 0, number of questions are 0, so it will show 0 by 0 initially. Okay, so and also the other thing we want is our timer. So instead of writing the code again, we will just cut this code here. We'll just cut this code from here and we'll paste it in that, as because we can use then we will use our play again method downwards, so we don't have to write that code again and again. So we have implemented that. Also I think we can our question we can generate in that only, so we will directly use play again method downwards. Okay, so we can use our new question method here. In between that we'll paste it and we will call the play again method downward, so that all the things will be implemented. I can call it here play again. And also there is one thing that we have to pass inside view. So this was showing expected one argument, so we can pass any of the view, like we have all these views which are just copy any of that, like I will copy this one and we'll paste this one. You can this does not matter, we just have to pass any of the argument, so you can copy any of that and paste inside that, it doesn't matter. We just have to call the method, and for calling we have to do this formality. Okay, so now I think we are done with this. Just one thing we have to do is we have to show this play again, like whenever this game starts. So firstly we have to show the go button. Okay, and all these things should be invisible. So we have two ways to creating that. First one can be that we will go to all of its different properties, like timer text, some text, and this, and I will set this to invisible. But instead of that, this will be a whole lot of work to do. So instead of that, we can add a new layout, like these constraint layout is for this and grid layout is for this. We can add another constraint layout which will contain only go button. Okay, so initially it will show this and then we can change it to our constraint layout. Okay, so let's just create a new layout. We can see we can do it through here. Here is our constraint layout, just drag it here. I think it's not dragged, so just drag it here and put it inside of that. Okay, so just we have to go we have to declare go button instead of that. Okay, so now we can see everything is working fine. So just give this constraint layout an id so that we can implement that. So I will give this name game layout and we will use that. Okay, so now we want initially all this to be invisible, so I will write that here. I will write this here that during the on create what are the things that should appear. I want our game layout, so first of all we have to initialize that. I'm sorry, here we have to initialize all this. Okay, so we will use constraint layout. We can also declare that I think this should be here. Yes, this is here. Constraint layout, use our game layout, and now we will declare that in our on create method as we have did for others. Okay, so just use game layout is equal to find view by id r dot id dot game layout. Okay, so now this is implemented. Now we can use it anywhere. So I will just set our game layout to change its visibility. We have method called set visibility, and inside of that I will pass view dot invisible. Okay, so initially I want this gaming layout to be invisible, like all these things should be invisible and go button should be visible only. Okay, so I will write here go button dot set I will go with visibility, and I will write here view dot visible. Okay, so initially when the game start, I want go button to be visible, and whenever I click the go button, then the go button should get invisible and game layout should get visible. Okay, so I have to go to the code where we have written for the start button. Here it is. So we have written the code for that whenever we click on this go button should get invisible, and we want our game layout to be visible. Okay, so I will use game layout dot set visibility view dot, now this time we want it to be visible. Okay, so the game layout will be visible. I think all the things are ready. We just have to do one task. Okay, okay, we will see on finish of that, like whenever the game is finished, we want to show the play again button. So here we will set the visibility of play again button to be visible. Okay, as we haven't changed the visibility here, so this should be visible. Now let's just test that anything is not left. We will start with our go button. Let's just let's just check our code that we will use this play again button here. Game layout will shown. Game layout will initially be invisible, go button will be visible. So whenever we tap on go button, we can see whenever we tap on go button, the go button will be invisible, game layout will be visible, and we can do our process here, that we can play the game and other things will come. And at the last we just have to use this. I think we are ready. Let's just test it whether game is okay or not. Here comes our app. I think it's running. The go button is initially invisible. I think we haven't changed its visibility here, but I think we have given the name here. We will see we have given the name go button. So I figured out what's the problem was. So I have given the name of this layout as game layout. So we don't want this layout as game layout, as because we want all these things like which is containing this layout, these things, that layout we need to name the game layout, as because these all things are contained in this, and we want them all of them to be disappeared initially. Okay, so after adding this, and now we can see this constraint layout contains only this go button, and this game layout contains these things like score text, sum text, and all these things. Okay, so I think we are just done with this. Let's just run our code and check whether all these things are working or not. Here comes our app. Now we can see that we are getting that screen here, and initially we are having all this clear screen. We can tap on the go button to start the game. We can see the timer is ticking downwards, like it started, and we are getting these sums. So we can select any of the option, like I select 27, I'll select wrong option, others, something like that. Our scoreboard is keep moving on, and the timer is also decreasing. You can see that, and on the game over we will get that done here and play again button shown. Okay, so now we will tap on play again. We can see that the game is resetted, and now 30 seconds it is moving downwards. We are getting new sum. We can select any of the option, like I will tap here. We can select as many as. So now we will do some correct. Okay, so 32, this is I think 36. Now this will be 32 9. We can see that our scoreboard is moving, this is moving. Only the one thing is the constraints are getting disturbed, like this should be in the center, or this size is big. You can yourself do these changes. And also I have seen one thing, that whenever I click on play again, this play again button should get disappeared, as because if this stays, then user can tap on this again and again. Okay, so for that we just have to go to the play again code, where we have written that method play again. Yes, it is here, and we just have to write whenever we click on play again, then it should get disappeared, this button should get disappeared. So we will use, I think we have used the smaller one. Yes, play again dot set visibility, we know that how to make it invisible. So view dot, we want it invisible. Okay, so I think we are done with this app. Let's just give it a final run. So I think emulator has begin. Okay, let's just try it for the final time. So we will click on go button. We can see the timer is moving downwards. We are getting the sum here. We will select the method, any of them, 33, 33. Okay, so the timer is over. We are getting wrong. I think I have selected that again. We will select on play again button, then we will see these things. Okay, also one thing I have noticed here is this was showing wrong whenever the game is started, like we haven't selected anything, and that was showing empty. So I have to show an empty string there. So I will do that by adding, we want that in our result text. Okay, so I will just use result text dot set text. That should initially start with an empty string. Okay, so I think that should work now. This was the previous, the game is still loading, let's just wait. So here comes our app. We can check it finally, that we click on go button, that we can see that now this list is empty. Now we will tap on this and this will show the whether it is correct or not. Okay, so that was the thing I found which should be improved. So now we can see that timer is decreasing from 30. We can select any of the option. We can see that we have got only 4 5, now 6. Now we'll select some right options. Okay, so now we have got our timer done. This is done. Now we can click on play again. We can see all these things are disappeared. Now we can play the game again. Okay, so congratulations, we have successfully completed this app, and we are done with this app now. So thank you so much, and do follow other videos for the such amazing apps. Okay, thank you.